Hey, good morning. It is o2manyfish, and it's about January 20th, maybe 21st, something like that, 2025. Yes, we survived the fires out here in Los Angeles. For those that watched around the country, the Encino fires, we were one block north of the evacuation line. So all those helicopters and all that smoke and everything was literally at the end of our block up a hill. But we came through unscathed. We had one power surge that wiped out some stuff, and unfortunately, wiped out some of our electronics. Took out a couple of backup power supplies, and unfortunately, did take out the controller system and some equipment on my wife's clown system. And that was she lost her clowns, but other than that, we came through totally unscathed. So why are we taking photos or videos, I guess, of our non-Windex Reef aquarium, a fish tank without lights because it's not super pretty, to talk about getting bad fish out of a tank. So 750 gallons. Most of the time, fish go in; they don't ever come out. But sometimes there's fish you have to get out. And so, how do you get them out? In the past, I think we did videos a while back where we used a small treble hook to catch a Atlantic blue tang. We've used that also for some clowns and stuff like that. But this time, it was for some damsels. And damsels, you can imagine, in a 750-gallon tank, not something easy to catch. We last week was my birthday. Thank you for everybody that did send me your birthday wishes. And since I was about probably 5 or 6 years old, it started with my grandparents. Every year for my birthday, they came down and took me out for my birthday to a tropical fish store and bought me fish. And when prior to going to college, every year it was gold sailfin mollies for my freshwater aquarium. And then since then, obviously, the price tag of the fish has gone up. And my wife has taken over that tradition for the last many, many years. And this year, she went and bought me a zebra angel. And we'll try to come around on him. He's sitting, it's a male, sitting at the end of the tank. And I'm staying back right now because I don't want to spook anybody. Anyways, if you've followed my videos for years, you know I don't ever name fish. But this fish we've actually named Birthday. Just because it's easier to say. And so this fish's name is Birthday. I bought a pair of these probably about a year ago or so, and the male was gorgeous. And then right away, the female passed away, and the gorgeous male started to fade and lose his stripes, and became an ugly male. So I bought a female, and the female, hoping that with the female in the tank, he'd become dominant and get his stripes back and be a pretty fish. And actually, with the female, stripes faded out even more. So these are Genacanthus angels. They're totally reef safe. For those not familiar with them, they are planktivores. They don't pick off the rocks or anything like that. They only eat out of the water column. So this covers things like the Personatus, if you have a really nice budget, or Bellis, swallowtails, some of the different zebra angels. This is the one of the more striking of the zebra angels. So that's the male, and the female. We'll get to the female in a second. So, anyways, we had this pair of one very, very ugly male that actually looked like a female, and they had no interest in each other at all. Different sides of the tanks. Only time they were even near each other is by accident. So it wasn't what I really wanted because I like fish that hang out together and swim together and things like that. So, just in this picture you can see there's multiple yellow tangs, blue tangs, Antheus. When we get closer in a minute, there are pairs of Bellis, pairs of flamebacks, pairs of Venustus, pairs of Goldens, pair of Joculators, pair of Goldflakes. So it's kind of like we try to do Noah's Ark. We like things in twos. So for my birthday, we go down to the wholesalers, and there's a beautiful male zebra, and so wife gets it for me for my birthday, and we bring it home along with some other little fish, golden angel to add to our existing either. We're not sure if we had one or two golden angels, so we added two more. So we either have 3 or 4 in there now. And a flame angel. This tank has not had a flame angel since we set it up. So we got a little flame angel. And as soon as we put these fish in, the flame and the goldens just got their butts. Okay, we're going to be politically correct nicely here. Got their butts kicked by our flameback angels, which, if you remember from a previous video, we got rid of a huge flameback angel, the dominant female, because it kicked the butt of a joculator. But this time it was the surge damsels. And so surge damsels are kind of a interesting story. If you don't know what a surge damsel is, and chances are you've never ever seen one, unless it was in one of my videos prior, and you've never seen one in a fish store and you don't know what it is, take a moment, pause, click over to Google and say, what is a surge damsel? Years ago, I was walking through one of the wholesalers and I walked past a tank that was pretty much empty except it had one small damselfish in it. And it was really bright yellow with a blue dorsal stripe. And I said, ooh, that's cool. I've never seen that before. And then I said, David, you learned your lesson once before. That's right. My name's David, o2manyfish David. You learned your lesson before when you bought a Bo Gregory damsel, which you thought was cute. And then a couple weeks later, and then a month or two later, found out what a horrible fish that was. So don't ever buy damsels or fish that you don't know what they are again. But then I walked past this damsel again and I saw what the shape of the body was. I said, you know what? I got to get that. Really pretty fish. So I grabbed it. It wasn't even expensive. On the bill, didn't know what the name was when I bought it. On the invoice, came up as a surge damsel. Brought it home, acclimated the fish, put it into the tank. This is back in the old 400. And this gorgeous yellow and blue fish swims around, jumps into the rocks, and disappears. And 20 minutes later, it comes out, and it's gray with kind of a white stripe on it. I'm like, what the hell? And so I watch, and I'm thinking, okay, sometimes fish freak out like this. And stressful environments, but after a couple days it's still a gray fish, no yellow on it at all. So now I do some research and find out that surge damsels are beautiful when they're freaked out or juveniles, but when they're at ease or adults, they are an ugly charcoal gray, like someone rolled them in dirt, with a white stripe down them. So this fish, I clearly made a mistake in getting it. And it was ugly, and I don't like ugly fish. I like damsels, but I don't like ugly fish. And so I said, okay, I'm going to get rid of them. And my wife said, no, you can't. I love that fish. I said, you got to be kidding me. What do you love about this surge damsel? It's just an ugly fish. Right, now, this is the same woman that first fish she picked out for the aquarium was the Achilles tang. So she's got taste in fish. She's like, no, watch. He's the most active fish in the tank. He's more active than my Achilles. And I watched, and sure enough, never noticed it before because I hated the fish. This surge damsel was all over the tank. When we had the surge tank on our 400 gallon, the surge damsel would swim in it just like the Achilles tang. Everything was just awesome. When we lost all our fish, we lost our surge. Stop it, Izzy. Stop it. So we had him for years, and in the years that we had him, I came across one other in like 6 years. And then we lost them when we had our wipeout 2 years ago. And that was Izzy, by the way. Izzy, are you pissed off? Bear, you growling? You mad? Okay. Anyways, it took a long time, like a year and a half, almost 2 years before, after we set this tank up, before we found surge damsels. And then all of a sudden, we found a bunch of them at wholesalers and fish stores. And so I bought every single one I could come across. In fact, one night at Tat's Tropical Illusions in Thousand Oaks, they had 4 of them in one of their Reef display tanks. And I convinced the girl that was working there that my wife needed those. And clearly she didn't want it. And by the way, at the fish store, they were pretty yellow and blue damsels. And she took out about 80 pounds of live rock and caught me these 4 damsels for my wife. So, happy wife, happy life. My wife, I keep her happy. You can see she lets me stay happy. And she had her damsels. And of course, they came into our tank and they all went ugly, ugly gray. But my wife had, I think at that point, we had 6 surge damsels. Somewhere along the line, probably in the last 6 months, I was at another wholesaler again and saw these really cool lavender purple damsels. And I asked, and they were from the Solomon Islands. And they're the same shape as the classic blue damsels, which I know people go, oh, blue, the long blue damsels, not the little triangular ones. People go, oh, damsels, horrible, horrible fish. You have to know which damsels are good. Some damsels are good, some damsels are bad. 3-stripe, 4-stripe, dominoes, horrible, 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 nasty fish. Never, 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 never. But blue with the yellow tail, bad fish. Blue body, yellow bottom, like a Kupang damsel, which we've shown in other videos, very cool fish. Starkey damsels, cool fish. Stegossi damsels, cool fish. So Springer eye damsels, very cool fish. So we like our damsels. So I bought 6 of these Solomon Island purple damsels, as they were the right body shape, and put them in. And of course, they get in the tank and they go into there's no purple on them anymore. They're just black. So now, 10 minutes later, my story, we get our birthday fish the other night, and the surge damsels are just beating the crap out of the flame angel and the golden. And my wife is pissed off, just pissed. I'm having to stop her from pounding on the tank. So she goes, you got to get those surge damsels out. So I'm pretty good with a fish trap, not to pat myself too hard on the back, but we've caught many fish. A while back, when we had the issue with the large female flameback, I put the trap in the tank when she was beating the crap out of the joculator to try to catch her. I couldn't catch her. I ended up actually catching the joculator, which she was beating in the corner of the tank, and then put the joculator in a clear plastic cup and put the joculator in the fish trap. And then when the joculator was in the fish trap, of course, the flameback came up and tried to beat the crap out of it in the cup in the fish trap, and I caught it. So out came the old trusty fish trap. I cleaned it, which I shouldn't have done. It was covered in algae from the last time I used it, which was probably catching the flameback, and put it in the tank. I mean, my birthday was last Thursday. We didn't put the trap in until Monday after all the craziness that went on, and we now have, at this point, caught 9 of the unwanted damsels. So all of the surge damsels are out of the tank in 2 nights. Well, first night we caught 2, second night we caught 3, and now I'm working on the ugly black damsels. And how do you do it? Well, 750 gallons, you just don't get in there with a net. So let's talk about trapping. So it's going to be, there's the trap, there's me in the reflection. And so this one I think came from BRS. It's a little bit big, but it's basically what a lot of people call an acclimation box. It's got a door on it. It's got some slats on it. It's got a molly in it. I don't know why, but since we put the trap in, the molly is in there nonstop. And then last night, between 1 o'clock in the morning, when I went to bed, this little snail climbed all the way up the side of the tank, managed to climb across the top, come down this bracket, around and into the box, and is just scarfing down. So this is the trap has been in the tank this is day 3 now. You can see it's clear. There's not a lot of algae on it yet, but there is food piled up in the bottom. And if we'd wanted to, we would have been able to catch most of the fish in the tank. When I say most, I mean Achilles, black, regal angel, Bellis angels, the female zebra angel. And it's pretty easy. So I put the trap in the tank for a few hours on the first day, and just leave it sit there so it's not something brand new. And then I just start putting frozen food. It has a feeder tube. I just start putting frozen food in it, and once the food's in there, the fish kind of figure out what's going on. And so now I sit here with my baster, and I don't know how it's going to work because the lights are off in the tank so they can see me. So every time I walk up, it gets a thing. But as long as I keep things moving in here with the baster, most of the fish come in pretty easy. And then last night, to catch the last couple of damsels, I actually took the feeding tube out, and I'll show this. So the feeding tube comes out. I don't know if you can see the trap door is open about halfway. If I open it up, it's set so it can get, the trap originally is designed so that it's like fully open. But if I open it all the way, the big fish get in there and just decimate the food pretty quickly. With a 1-inch slat last night, the black tang, who's pretty much fills his whole box, he got in there sideways and just kept mowing and mowing and mowing. So if I sit here and I just keep this stirring, last night with the lights on, when everybody was awake, as long as there was motion, there was constantly fish in there. And you can see the borb is right there now. The molly is like in there 80% of the time. And we'll step back, and the fish just swarm to the box. And so all you gotta do is sit there, wait patiently to get the right fish, and pull the trap door, and in he goes. So we have 3 remaining damsels to catch, and I'm trying to see if the Achilles is gonna pop in right now. Shows how good our trapping skills are. With the lights off in the tank, they can see me through the tank because obviously I'm in the room. There's no reflection off the glass, and so they're a little spooked by the big fat guy holding a camera at them that keeps walking up to the tank. At night, last night, with the lights on in the tank and it dark in the room, I was up there basting for half an hour at a time, and there was no issue. I'm going to walk a little bit farther back from the tank, try to get the reflection less for you. If I stand over there, you can't see what's in the trap. Amazingly, the regal, which is normally a really shy fish, he has spent the most amount of time in there, as well as the female zebra. Now, while we wait to see if, of course, nobody's going to go in the trap now while I'm sitting here, all the gold flakes were in there. No chance, the flamebacks weren't in there. The copperband butterfly spends a lot of time in there, just so chill and relaxed, just mowing away on all the food. So last night, as the lights were coming down, I took the dogs upstairs around almost 1 o'clock. And as I'm going up the stairs with the dogs, I look over and the lights are dimming down to below the tank. And one of the black damsels, one of the 3 left to catch, is near the trap. So I came downstairs and I'm trying to trap him as lights are going down. And then all of a sudden the birthday present is out and I'm trying to feed him. And then the lights go down and I did what every reefer loves to do is I get in there with my little flashlight at night and I'm looking around. And I found some kind of baby fish in the back of the tank. And I have to make send some messages and phone calls later today. I'm not sure what they were. They were sitting on top of the jawbreaker mushrooms on the back wall, and they look like little black tadpoles. So maybe they're mandarins. I'm not sure. We'll do some research today and find out. But I was really, really excited to see that. So I was hoping this was going to be a more exciting video of all the fish going in the trap to show you how easy it was. Because, of course, when I started shooting the video, they were inside the box. And I was like, gold flake's almost there. Once the first one goes in, then it's kind of a feeding frenzy to get in there. Okay, so there goes the gold flake in the box. And now once the food starts getting stirred up, then everybody else sees it, and they kind of start going in there like crazy. Come on, guys, don't make me look bad. There's our big black tang and a purple tang underneath. Okay, so Achilles is halfway in. All right, Achilles is halfway in, and he's being cautious, but as he stirs up the food, everybody else starts seeing it. So this is just kind of a patience game, but it's not that big of a patience game because the wife and I spent, 40 minutes on the first night, and we caught the first 2 damsels. And then the second night, we probably spent an hour or so, but in an hour or so, we ended up catching another 7 damsels. 7 of them, which took some time because, as you can imagine, the big fish go in there and the little damsels are scared to go in. And then also, the best bait to use has been frozen krill because it's big and it kind of settles down. The bloodworms block the tube too much. Brine shrimp is also good. The problem with mysis, not krill, I'm sorry, frozen mysis. The problem with the mysis is it's so big that when the little damsels get a hold of it, they steal a couple pieces, then they're full and they're not so interested. The smaller foods like the arctopods and stuff like that, which are nice bright red, and everybody gets super excited about them, they're just so small that as they're floating out, there's no reason for anybody to go in the trap. And it's kind of cool because right now we can't see any of the bad damsels we're going to catch. The other thing that's really nice is since we got rid of just those, even last night, at the beginning of the night, we had 5 of the troublemakers out before working on the black ones. The demeanor in the tank changed, and I didn't realize that those damsels would become such a pain in the butt. But we had assessors out all over the tank. There's during feeding normal light hours. So you see, there's one of the yellow assessors right there. There's almost, I think, 8 to 10 yellow assessors, and there's about a dozen of the McNeils. And usually the McNeils are stuck to the right end of the tank, but actually, it's going to be hard for you to see. There's one of the, I don't know if it's a McNeil's or a Randall's, but there's one right there. You saw that there's a blue shadow. I know, no lights. Okay. Oh, and you can see there's another one against the back wall. And if you stare long enough, you'll see many, many more. And so they were out and about all over the tank. The bang guys came out in force once the damsels were gone. And so it was pretty cool. And then our troublemaking damsels, the last 3 we have to catch. Here's one of them. This is one of the 3. So he's on the right side of the tank. Also, there's tricks with using the trap. So originally I put the trap right here in the middle of the tank, big open space, and that gets everybody used to it. But that also means that the big fish can swim in and out no problem, and we were trapping little fish this time. So what I did was I moved originally when I was catching the surge damsels, because they like to be in and out and among the rocks. I moved the trap right here, so the trap was right up against the rock, and so the bigger fish weren't as apt to go in and out of the trap, and it made it easier for the little fish to get in. And then after we got those guys, the surge damsels were living in the rock there. We had another one living in this pile of rock here, so I moved it over here. The blue damsels, there's another one of the little troublemakers down there. The Venustus, where'd he go? He went around the corner. This blue damsels are more open water and not so much hiding in the rocks. And they were hanging out at this end of the tank, so that's why I moved it over here to get it closer to them, because they don't roam as much. And then last night, it was really cool, because I just sat here like this. As long as I kept it stirred up, I got all the fish to come in, and then I could have pick and chose who I wanted to catch. So I just keep it so that they can see the food that's in there. And if you can see, the Achilles is right there, and he's thinking about it. You just have to stay calm. Of course, having yacht rock on in the background doesn't hurt. Having your wife cheer you on, yelling, "Get that SOB" in the back is good. All the yellow tangs, all the purple tangs, there's the Achilles, have been in the trap the last couple days. The rabbi tang has not been in the trap. I guess he's pretty fat, but everybody else has. And so this is our now over 20-minute video. Hopefully you've been impressed by our ability to catch fish out of a big 750-gallon tank. I think I'm going to end it here, unless someone's going to swim in the next 30 seconds to show how cool it is. The trap is. There's a little bit more. There's a lot of fish right here, so any minute now. And once the first one goes in, like all of a sudden there's like 3 in. At one point in this box, we had goldflake, joculator, zebra, and the copper band, all eating without, pissing each other off calmly, because there's just an abundance of food in here. All right, I went past my 30 seconds. Imagine that. You've watched my videos before, I do have a tendency to ramble. Anyways, so that's our non-Windex reef aquarium. Our parrot in the background just yelling away. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you need to catch fish, get a trap. Get some patience. Put the trap in there. Stop feeding for a day or so. Put your food in the trap so it becomes the food source, and it's pretty easy to catch almost all the fish you want. The only fish that we really would have no chance of catching have been any of the accessors, the springer eye damsels, the coupang damsels, the smaller wrasses. We have a big blue leopard wrasse, a regular leopard wrasse. They were both in there, and I wish right now, if the timing was right, we got the coolest little baby red leopard wrasse, like less than an inch, who's been just cruising all over the tank. He didn't go in the trap yet at all. Those fish we couldn't catch. The bristle-toothed tangs have showed no interest in the trap at all. They haven't been near it. But to get the damsels that we wanted out, not a problem. So have a good day, and hope to see you soon. Bye.